Martel creates a book signing for his own children, but his children don't turn up. Tisha wonders whether Africa is safe for children. Go figure. Louis and Marsau want to face each other down. This is a Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 3 review. Stay tuned. It's your girl Yvonne Ossei, Ossei. I'm back again with another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm not going to cover absolutely everything, as I think I've mentioned before. I'm just going to cover the things that I think are relevant and are interesting. Marceau and Maurice, the brothers, are at Marceau's cigar and bar called Black, and Maurice is trying to get Marceau to apologize for posting that picture. Again, that picture rears its ugly head. Maurice feels as though that picture has gotten him in some kind of heat with his wife, Kimmy, and it's created gossip surrounding all the husbands that were present in that picture. Truth be told, Marceau isn't sorry. Even though he says he may apologise to Kimmy, but not to Maurice, Kimmy's husband, it doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you from Marceau's body language and his kind of demeanour, and the words that are coming out of his mouth, I can tell you for free that Marceau is not sorry. He's absolutely loving this. I think he's playing devil's advocate, so he's not about to apologise. And I think that's what Marceau does. Cast your mind back to last season's reunion, where Tiffany and her husband Louis, this whole issue about transparency. And I think Louis tries to comment on Marceau's marriage. Marceau's not accepting that at all, because he says that, look, Tiffany and Louis, which is fair enough, you guys have been married for all of 11 months. I've been married for many years. And you guys divorced other people to get into this new marriage that you're having now. So in Marceau's mind, you guys are not fit to give him kind of any advice, marriage advice. You can only give divorce advice. Ooh. So obviously Louis doesn't like that. See, I think the bottom line is Marceau doesn't want anyone else giving their opinion and that opinion influencing his wife Tisha, right? He wants to be the only one that influences Tisha. He routinely rejects anything that anyone else has to say about his marriage, and that's his MO. That's how his relationship with Tisha works. Then later on, Martel joins Marceau and Maurice at Black, the cigar lounge. Martel tells Marceau that you were bullying essentially Louis in that moment, right? The moment at the reunion, etc., that he felt that you were being bullyish. Of course, Marceau rejects this. They have a lot of discussion, and Marceau reluctantly agrees to contact Louis to have a conversation. Look, I think this is nonsense. I don't think it matters what Louis thinks of Marceau's relationship with Tisha or his marriage, right? Marceau, you don't need to make Louis's opinion of you and your marriage an issue for you. So there's no need for you to contact Louis to say anything to him. You guys sat together at the reunion, you went toe to toe then, and I think that's that. I think that it should be left as that, but I don't know if this is for a storyline or they want to drag it on, but Marceau is going to meet Louis. I really don't care. I just don't think it's necessary. Okie dokie. So Tiffany and Louis are at home chilling. She sat on his lap. They're having a couple's moment, and Louis reveals that he has had a message from Marceau and that he wants to meet to discuss what they talked about at the reunion. Again, you know what I think about this. But interestingly, they say that they know Marceau from Monaco, okay, that they knew him previously. And so that gives some kind of credence to them being able to speak about Marceau and his marriage. Even in this episode, Marceau maintains that these guys, Tiffany and Louis, don't know him enough. They don't even know him to be commenting. But here, Tiffany and Louis are revealing that actually they know him from Monaco. So maybe they do know something and maybe they can speak on his marriage. Louis, he's kind of like a very tall and big guy. He's getting really irritated just thinking about this conversation that he's going to have with Marceau, right? Louis makes it known that he can get physical with Marceau if necessary. Tiffany jokes that, I hope you don't get physical because you're too old for that. And Louis makes it be known that, listen, I'm not too old to throw hands and, put it down, get physical with Marceau if necessary. Listen, I don't think that anyone looks at Louis as a tough guy. I don't think Marceau is in any shape or form intimidated by Louis. And I don't think that if Louis approaches him with that kind of tough guy act, it's going to work. or it's going to reap any benefits. So look, Louis, if you want to have a conversation with Marceau, you're going to have to do so respectfully and just leave it as that. The whole tough guy thing, no one's buying it. So yeah. All right, Melody's having a cute little mummy-daughter moment with her daughter Mariah. This young girl, she's into acting. This is the first time I've actually seen or heard Melody reveal that she's actually had acting classes. She says her and her daughter Mariah used to drive all the way to Atlanta to have acting classes, and then drive back late that night or early the next morning so Mariah could get to school. And it kind of makes sense, right? Melody's singing. She's got those songs out. She's got a music career. She's been pursuing acting. So clearly she wants to be a double threat, if not a triple threat, if she's got other things that she's going to add to that. And she's using this platform, this Love and Marriage Huntsville reality show, to kind of catapult her into her dream. Don't be surprised if you see Melody acting in some kind of program or film. I think that's what she's planning for herself. And also, if you cast your mind back to last season's reunion, you'll remember that Melody was getting very kind of emotional and she was crying. She felt kind of bullied and harassed by most of the cast, including her ex-husband. You know, Tisha was coming for her. So Melody really felt like she had nobody. She was crying and she's saying that she hated Huntsville. She wanted to leave Huntsville, you know, and her mum was trying to console her. But Melody had a goal in mind. She knew what she wanted from this platform, this Love and Marriage Huntsville platform, right? And so she withstood the trauma and the harassment and the bullying that she experienced because she knew that this show was going to catapult her into whatever her dreams of singing and acting were. So she stuck it out, and I'm glad she did, because I think she's got more talent to give. Then we move on to Martel and his mother. He arrives at his mother's house with some miniature samples of red wines that he's developing. Premium red wines, he calls it. And it's interesting because last episode, he was doing a photo shoot for a calendar, a promotional calendar that he's putting out. And as you will find out a bit later, he goes on to do a book launch for his children and himself. So Martel just seems to be doing any and everything to try and see what will stick, you know, maybe trying to increase his income now that he's no longer with Melody, and allegedly she was the main breadwinner in that relationship. Allegedly, I don't know, with the Holt and Holt business, she was the brains behind it, many people are saying. So it would now seem that fresh from his separation, he's now trying to do everything he can to build up his money. I can't see what Martel's specific hustle is. And I'd like to see Martel with a vision for himself. He wants to be, I don't know, a TV personality. He wants to be a businessman, whatever. But right now he's just doing any and everything. There was something that stuck out about the wine scenario for me. He was saying to his mum that he was inspired to create this wine because him and Melody used to drink this specific red wine, and after a while he couldn't find it anymore, so he decided to create his own red wine. And what we can see from that is that he is feeling inspired by Melody. So at least he's feeling inspired, and at the most, at best, let's say, maybe he's still in love with her. Who knows? In that segment, Martel's mum says, you know, Martel's always been a good guy. He's always wanted to do good things. And, you know, she's so proud of him. She couldn't be any prouder of him than she is in this moment. Okay, look, Mum, I understand a mother's love for her son. You're going to support him. You're going to protect him, whatever. But what I don't see you hardly ever doing is holding Martel accountable for his behaviour, the way he treated Melody and his children. It's like you're just always singing his praises and always kind of patting him on his back. A personality like Martel needs the opposite. He actually needs someone to kind of straighten him up and say, actually, no, this was wrong, this is right. And to just call Martel a good person, and he's always just been a good person, is not even the full picture. We've seen other sides of Martel's personality which are not good. So, you know, let's try and keep it a bit real at least. Okay, so then Tisha and her husband, Marsau, are at home with their kids, and they are just, you know, relaxing, chit-chatting. And they keep talking about this trip to Africa. Marceau took a trip to Africa by himself, and I think Tisha wanted to go, and now she's trying to push for a family trip to Africa. But then she says something. She says, oh, is it safe for children in Africa? And Marceau is as surprised as I am. Listen, Tisha, as an African-American woman, to open your mouth and ask if Africa is safe for children, perhaps you should ask whether, you know, where you are is safe for children, because children in Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, and all those kind of places aren't being shot down in the streets from gang warfare. They're not being stabbed at school or stabbed on the way to school. They don't have to worry about those types of things. So it's just very ignorant to even think that Africa is somehow unsafe for children in particular. I guess, Tisha, my message to you is that perhaps it's no more or less safe than the place that you are living in right now. And it's interesting that if Marsau took this trip to Africa whilst he was married to Tisha, why would he take a trip to Africa and leave his wife and children behind? Does Marceau have something to hide? Is something going on in Africa for him or with him? I don't know, but it begs all kinds of questions. Tisha expressed previously that she wasn't comfortable with the fact that he went to Africa by himself. So now she's trying to push for this Africa trip as a family. I get the impression that Tisha wants to put her foot down and say, look, I'm not comfortable about you going anywhere, traveling to another country by yourself. But it doesn't seem like she feels that she has the space or the platform that she can say, no, Marcel, I don't want you going to Africa by yourself or going anywhere by yourself. When Marceau and Tisha are by themselves, she says to him, look, Marceau, did you speak to Martel about the secret apartment issue? And this is also connected to that photo that was posted and circulated around. And he says, no, I've not spoken to Martel. I'm not going to speak to Martel. I don't do that. I'm good. And then he says, are you good? And then she kind of reluctantly says, yeah, I'm good. But I don't get the impression that she is good. I get the impression that she has to say she's good and just to go along with it, because Marceau makes up his mind and then Tisha has to go along with whatever he's decided. Martel has organised a book signing for his children. He worked with his children so that they could author a book called A Trip to Canada or something like that. And he's organised this book signing for the week that he doesn't have the children, right? Him and Melody have a legal agreement where there's certain weeks that she has the children and certain weeks that he has the children. He doesn't have the children at this point, at this time, and he knows he wasn't going to have the children. But he decided to organise this book signing, this book launch and book signing event for the time that he doesn't have the children. Make that make sense. And Martel's manager asks him, listen, are the kids coming? Are they on their way? And then he says, well, he doesn't know because Melody hasn't picked up her phone in a couple of days. She hasn't replied to his messages about bringing the children to the book launch or the book signing. And this seems to me to be an underhanded way to make Melody look bad to the public, to all the parents and their children who've turned up at this event. It reminds me of when last season when Martel brought his kids to Melody's office without Melody even knowing that the kids were in the building. She only found out when Martel and herself were arguing. And then she went backstage to go and see her daughter. And then Martel dragged the daughter, put her in a car and drove away because he was in a huff with Melody. And then he didn't get very far because the kid started crying in the car and demanding to see her mum. So this is what happens, Martel, when you use your kids as a pawn to try and make Melody look bad. Okay, it always backfires. So you now kind of walking around that book launch telling everyone, oh, Melody didn't bring the kids, Melody didn't bring the kids, in an attempt to make Melody look bad. It's just really kind of manipulative and pathetic. It doesn't really work. No one's buying it. You shouldn't have organised that event in the first place. And if you did organise it for the week that you didn't have the children, you should have got express confirmation from Melody first, permission from Melody first, as she would have been the caregiver for the kids at that time, that, you know, she would agree to allow them to come to this event, but you didn't do that. So nobody feels sorry for you. Interestingly, his manager says to him, okay, it would seem that Melody doesn't feel safe with you at the moment. She doesn't feel safe kind of in this whole co-parenting space with you and coming to support you for events or anything like that, because, you know, this whole divorce thing is new for her. That was a woman telling Martel what he needed to hear, right? That you can't kind of cheat on Melody so many years, have a whole girlfriend, put that girlfriend in an apartment, have a kid with that girl whilst you're married to Melody, and think that's not going to leave a scar for Melody, and then attack Melody every time you see her. Of course, Martel, you know, she's not going to feel safe. She's not going to feel supportive. So, you know, and when the manager told Martel this, if you looked very carefully, his body language changed and his demeanour changed. You know, he didn't like hearing that at all. And he was in a process of, you know, going to shut down. So Martel's the kind of person, as we've seen, that doesn't like to be told the truth and doesn't like to be held accountable for his actions. And she was kind of holding him accountable by saying, look, because she doesn't feel safe because of your actions, that's why she's not going to kind of support this type of stuff when she doesn't have to. So meanwhile, Melody is at home. She's got her kids together. They've packed their bag. They're going to her mother's house because she's lost her uncle and her great uncle in the space of 1 month, which is really sad and unfortunate. So she's planning on taking the children to her mum's house so they can all grieve together and share memories, etc. And, you know, Martel, this is the type of thing that happens in life. Life happens. Other things are happening other than the things that you planned that you weren't supposed to plan in the first place. So that's a very legitimate reason. Melody has every right to go off with her children to her mum's house and, you know, have this family moment. And also, interestingly enough, only Louis and his wife Tiffany turn up to this book launch with his children. I don't see Martel there, and I don't see Maurice there with their children, or just there for support or whatever, because I know some of their kids are quite grown. So it's interesting. Did he invite them? Did they get an invitation and not come, or did he just not invite them? Who knows? So that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in for next week's review. I'm your girl Yvonne Ossei, Ossei. You can follow me on social media, Instagram and TikTok at Yvonne_Ossei, YVONNE_OSSEI. At Twitter, it's Miss Ossei, MISSOSSEI, and all other social media platforms, Yvonne Ossei. Until next time, stay tuned.